What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle, and I'm back with another video. Y'all. It's time for a debt update. January 2025, we did some damage. We are in February now, so I thought I would recap the month of January and let you know how it went and what we did. So if that's something you want to see, if you're nosy, then stick around. Okay, I am on a journey to pay off 6 figures of debt in the next 5 years. If that's something you want to see, then definitely tune in. If you are debt free, let me know in the comments what things helped you to achieve that debt freedom, and share in the comments some ideas and tips that might work for others who are on this debt free journey right with us. Okay, so for the month of January, I didn't even write the month on here. First off, I'm still getting back into it, y'all. When you have been out the game for a while, this is what happens, honestly, truly. So first off, for the month of January, I anticipated that we would bring in about $18,313. We ended up bringing in a total of $24,401.58. This is an unusual month that I hope continues to happen. So first off, before we dive into the income, let's talk about what goals I had for myself. I did okay in the goals category. First, I wanted to get rid of some reoccurring subscriptions that I always just, you know how you have a subscription, a monthly subscription, and you just hit skip the month every time? I honestly haven't shopped these sites in over a year. Fabletics and Savage Fenty, I canceled them, and it was easy as I don't know what. The first time I had them and canceled them, it was very difficult. The second time I was able to do it electronically. I was able to use the chat with us feature and get rid of it. They tried to get me, and then I think Savage was even easier. I think they just had a cancel button. Yeah, so that was easy. So that's a win. I don't have to worry about remembering to cancel a subscription I wasn't using anyway. And remember, I'm on a journey, y'all, to make budgeting simple, because I just don't have the time anymore. Okay, what's next? I was supposed to cancel my old renter's insurance policy. I did not. So we're going to have to roll that over to the month of February. I really need to do that. It's something that comes out annually, and I'm paying for renter's insurance for a place I don't even live in anymore. So anyway, I'll deal with that. Rebuild savings. That is the other thing. I do consider it a win. We were able to contribute to our savings, but I'm making notes as I'm talking, y'all, because you remember stuff when you get when you get on camera. But I'll share more on that in a minute. My next goal was to make a large debt payment. Yes, and yes. We were able to make multiple large debt payments. The next line, I don't even understand. I think I was just like doing a brain dump, and I'm like, okay, these are my income sources that I need to look for and track. And I did decide that I'm not going to share my daughter's business income unless she chooses to join me on camera or she gives it to me already laid out and done, because her income is inconsistent, and I don't want to, and she also has her own credit card for her business, so I just don't feel like dealing with her numbers. She carries a zero balance monthly. But I just want that to be her story. And I'm actually trying to convince her to come on camera and share it at least quarterly, because I think it would be good for kids, young teenagers, to have that type of content to tune into. So let me know, would that be something you all be interested in? Okay. And then my last goal was to make a quarterly tax payment and make a tax appointment. Now I am in the middle, as you know, of going through some tax stuff. So I did make the tax appointment. I did go, but I need to go back again. Like, we've been twice already. I need to keep going back, and so that we can keep this needle moving. So it's okay. It's happening. Progress. So let's talk about these income sources. Okay. So my husband was slated to make about $6,600 this month. Well, last month, he ended up bringing in a lot more, totaling $13,539.56. Holiday pay, overtime, regular pay, plus some extra. He did his thing. I don't have anything to say. So it was my job to make it count. Ooh, sorry, microphone. I forget I have this on. It was my job to make it count. I am a virtual assistant. I usually bring in about $2,000 a month. I did not have paid invoices for some of those clients this month. I only brought in $600. So I need to recoup those funds in the month of February to stay on track and keep this needle moving, because we would have had even more income, y'all. Then the rental property brought in $1,713 per usual. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then sister locks, I thought I would make about $3,000. I ended up bringing in $8,266.48, which is really scary, because I feel like I did not set enough aside for taxes. So I really want to revisit that. I do have electronic tax sinking fund for that. But I just want to revisit that, because in real time, when I'm sharing these weekly budgets with you guys, I don't see overall, I don't in my head know like, oh, that was 8K. I was killing it this month. So I need to just revisit that. Then next was YouTube. I made $158.88. Your girl is back. Your girl is back. Thank y'all for tuning in to my content and just rocking with me, okay? Because it helps so much when you're doing all this work behind the scenes and you're like, oh, I hope some people feel like clicking on the video. So thank you so much. Then my business, I did not know if I would bring in any income. I made $53 whole and 22 cents. Your girl is back. The shop is open. Shop, shop, shop. I get a lot of questions in the comments. People were asking about like me just doing a wholesale, like basically selling all the product I have and as a bulk purchase, I guess, or a bulk sell. I'm not interested in that. I spent money and I paid all of that off, like all these purchases you see behind me. And because I usually only buy items when I have the money for them. So I did that. And so now I'm making my money back. Like, I like what I do. Anyway, if it comes to that, I would. But because our other income sources have been strong, I haven't had to resort to that. Then last was miscellaneous. I had some random refunds coming to a total of $70.44. We're going to get to the debt update now, because you can see how we basically spent the money. 4% went to savings. I wish I could have got it to 10%. We'll work on that for February. 53% went to debt. So I'll share with you guys what we did there. We spent a total of $13,044.90 on debt in January. 25% of our income covered our bills. That included anything that we had to pay for our businesses, the rental property, sister locks, the team payouts, all that type of stuff came to like just over $6,000. And that's what I'm always looking at, that number. I'm still trying to decide if I want to put business spending under bills or spending. Right now, this month, I felt like putting it under bills, and it still came to 25% of our income. So my goal is to always live under, to keep our spend at 25% or less. Now, of course, that doesn't include debt, but it is what it is. Then we have spending category. 10% of our income went here. So just regular spending for like food, toiletry, stuff like that came to $805. Now, remember, I usually have a budget of like $1,200 a month to spend on stuff like that. And that's for the businesses and everything, but I use cash to offset a lot of that. So, we'll see how that goes in February. I love to see the number keep going down. I feel like we should be able to live off of $500 worth of groceries, but unfortunately that's not the reality right now. Miscellaneous came to $703.04. That was just for random stuff. Like, I guess I should pull it up. I do have a screenshot. Let's see what we spent it on. But as I do that, I'll keep talking. Micah got $400 to spend the way he wants. Cash envelopes $380 and giving $275. So 10%. Sinking funds 8%. Okay, see, I only put $515 toward my sinking funds and I made $8,000. Y'all. Now I did have some money that I did not have to use to pay for taxes last go round. Like I pay quarterly taxes, and I also have a tax refund sitting waiting that I need to handle. So I think I had that in mind. I'm like, okay, I have some funds left over from last go round that I can use for this time, but still I want to be really, really conscious of how much money I'm setting aside. Okay, let's jump into the debt, shall we? Oh, and my bills are paid. I used my bill tracker to make sure I did not forget about anything or anybody. Who child? Okay, so let's talk about what is the craziness? So first up, I have a car update for you guys because we purchased an electric vehicle. We have a Tesla back in 2021. Starting price was $60,000. Talk about what progress we've made with this car loan since then. So 2021 is crazy. I was trying to look up old statements. I couldn't see anything before like mid 2023. So I know I have to use an estimate. So I know that we paid about $18,000 off between 2021 and mid 2023. About 18,000. So that dropped the balance down to 42,000. Then for the last few months of 2023, when I could start to see the statements again, we got the balance down to 36,512. That meant we paid about $5,400 off. We shed $5,400 off of the car balance. Now, the interesting thing that I love to look at is interest. And I don't care if they charge in daily, weekly, monthly interest. Interest is interest. And we had a really good rate because I couldn't see how much interest we paid initially in the first couple of years since I didn't have access to those statements anymore. But starting in 2023, we paid about $76 a month in interest on our car payment. To me, for how high our car payment is, I feel like that's not that bad. But I mean, y'all tell me. I'm sure y'all will. But in 2024, we saw the monthly interest drop down to $56. So we were able to shave $20 of interest off, of monthly interest off of our monthly payment and still continue to make the same payment. So that means we're hitting that principal harder. We're hitting that core balance harder. So we went from $36,512 to $26,645. Now, that meant that we shed about just under $10,000 off of the balance. I don't know if there was just like a month where we made an extra payment. I did not deep dive that much into the statements, but for us to knock out almost $10,000 off of the car payment in 1 year was really, really good. I feel like that was good. Because in the previous years, we had paid about $25,000 off of the car in 2 years. So 10,000 in 1 year. Well, anyway, this is with no extra debt payments. This is literally just paying the minimum every month. Then we are now at 2025, January. We made our regular payment, $888. Our interest payment is still at $56. It was like $56.75 or something like that last year. Then it went down to just $56 flat. In the year 2025. So we were able to take the balance down to $25,812. That's a difference of $833. And I will take it. I'm going to start tracking this. I don't know if I'll share these updates with you monthly, but for sure quarterly, because we have some decisions to make. I talked about this in our first debt update video for 2025, where I shared, like we were thinking about just paying off the car this year because, we sent $14,000 to debt this month. We could have sent that to the credit card, or at least a good amount of that, not to the credit card, to the car. And, but the interest rate is so good compared to this credit card debt sitting over here. So I think I'm gonna stay focused. I think I'm gonna not shake the boat, and I'm gonna continue our focus with the credit cards. So speaking of credit cards, I have my little updates. And so I have my tracker showing exactly what our balance, how much we were able to shave off of each of our balances. So for the HELOC, we were able to shave off $250 and change. The car, $833. Nothing new to the rental property. Thank goodness. Like the rental property is always a roll of the dice. And for some reason, it felt like acting right this month. Thank you, rental property. We didn't have to pay for any maintenance stuff, just the usual property manager. Venture, we took off $160 and change. Spark, we took off $42 and change. Then this was the one that we were really hitting hard this month, my business credit card that had the lowest balance. We were able to drop the balance by $2,252.21, y'all. That's crazy. And I want to say the biggest payment that we made was in the last 5 days of the month. And that is why I stick to that budget to the very end of the month, because I'm not always able to make large payments because, I want to pay the bills first. I want to make sure we're good. I want to make sure we got food in the house, all that type of stuff. But then when you have that extra money coming in, we're gonna make a huge debt payment. Then right underneath of that, the Amex. So when I recorded the video saying, hey, which card should I start with? Which card? Because, Micah had all that extra income. I just randomly picked a card. I picked Amex and I paid extra on Amex. Then when you guys gave your feedback, you said to use that Dave Ramsey method. I agreed. We talked about it. And so we started with the lowest balance. So next month, I'm hoping to have that card completely paid off, the business card. So anyway, back to Amex, we were able to pay them $4,981 and change. So that brought the balance down a great bit. I'll let you know about that. I think we dropped that balance down from 21,600 to just over 16,000. So that was a nice shot in the arm. Then we had a few more payments on Micah's credit card, $218, my credit card, $93.80, Chase credit card, $134.63, and then we started having some oopsies. So my Chase credit card, I did not, even with paying the minimum, I still had $51 that put me in the red for that credit card. So somewhere along the way, I did not pay enough, even though I met the minimum payment. And I think that's because I'm so used to having a little extra that I pay toward each credit card. But now since I'm putting all of the extra money on one credit card, I have to be vigilant. I gotta stay on it. And what I think happened is when I was recording all the numbers, I had a transaction that might have been pending. And so that was $51. So I just want to be conscious of that for next month. Really not to use these cards, y'all. Sister Locks. Now this is a card that I still use. So it is $460.52. It's for my business. I'm still trying to navigate that. The answer for me is not to get a new credit card. And I just don't like using my debit card for stuff. So that $460.52, I will pay that off in February. That was actually a pending charge at the end of January. So I had to buy supplies for my business. It is what it is. Discover. This kind of pissed me off. I only shaved $16.39 off of my Discover card, and I paid them $200 a month. So that might be the next card that we go after, y'all. See, some of it is, I want to pick the card with the lowest balance, and some of it is I want my money to really count. Like I want to use it on the right card, the card that is the suckiest, for lack of a better word, and that might be it. My husband's Apple card, the balance went down by $50. My Apple card, $50 and a few pennies. And our medical card, we didn't use at all. I'm ready low-key just to let it close out. But anyway, if you add all of that, and I'm not including Eva's credit card in the mix, but it is zero. If you count all of that up, that means that we were able to lower our balances down by $9,083.21, but we raised the balances up by $511.52. So I'm hoping to see where I can do better in that regard for February. But that meant that in total, we were able to lower our overall balance of all of our combined debt down by $8,571.69 in the month of January. So I will take that for 31-day progress, baby. I will take it. I'll take it. I'm not mad about it. And, my biggest thing is just to see something, do something. So if you look at our debt overview, we started with a total debt balance of $262,719.95. Now, with that $8,500 that we paid, we were able to lower our balance down to $254,148, y'all, and 26 cents. So I'll take it. I will take it. And I will give us a B. I almost would have given us an A, but that $511 kind of pissed me off. That's what happens. That is what happens. So I am excited to see what we do next. I don't know if I will do these debt updates monthly or quarterly. I'm willing to take feedback on that to see what you guys think. I know I'll do a monthly recap, and I feel like I should share it. But I don't always have enough money to see the needle move monthly. I like to kind of zoom out and see how much progress we're able to make quarterly. And that for me is a big deal. But yeah, that's how we did in the month of January. I also have my mortgage payoff journey, which I'm using that page for the HELOC. I wasn't able to shade in any progress because I can't shade in until I have a pay down amount of at least $5,959. So I feel like that is another area where every 4 to 5 months, maybe even 6 months, I'll be able to shade off, shade in one line. So that's okay. That's all right. That is my January debt update. I'm looking around because I feel like it was something else I was going to share with y'all, but isn't that enough? It's been 20 minutes. But thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think about our debt progress, how you would have done things, what feedback you have. I love just talking about all things budgeting. So that's it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Until then, you know what it is. Peace, love, and budgets.